Hey artists, this is Miss Funk from Gatewood and Tanglin. I'm going to show you how to add some windows and doors to your 2-point perspective assignment. When we are working with the windows and doors, we are going to be working all in vertical lines and lines that converge toward the vanishing points. So for this first building, I'm going to make a door first. So the first thing I'm going to do is decide how tall I want the door. I want the door to be about this tall, so I'm going to connect my vanishing point to that spot. And then I'm going to draw the top of the door. Now what I can do is I can make the sides of the door parallel to the sides of the building. So I'm going to go over like this. And I'm going to drag this one back until I see my pencil line here. All right, so this door has vertical lines and it has a line that goes over to the vanishing point. The same thing's going to happen with your windows. You'll notice that some of the windows are going to be having a slope down. Some of them are going to be having a slope up. Some of them might even have a slope down and up depending where they are on the artwork. So I'm going to make 3 sets of windows. I'll make them over on this side of the building here. So you can see this building does connect down to the vanishing point. So what I'm going to do is a little pivot. A pivot means that one spot holds in place, another part moves. So I'm going to hold down on my vanishing point and I'm just going to pivot my book a little bit. So this is a slightly different angle than it was at the top of the building. I'm going to make the top of my bank of windows here. I'm going to pivot some more. And then I'm going to make the bottom of my windows here. I'm going to do some more windows on here. So before I do my vertical lines, I can move my iPad there. Before I do my vertical lines, I'm just going to keep pivoting my book, which if you watched my last video, you know that I forgot to bring a ruler home. So I don't really have, this is my makeshift straight edge. Okay, so now that's the bottom of this bank of windows here, and then I'm going to do one more bank of windows right down at the bottom. So I'm coming here, still pivoting, right like that. Okay, so now I'm going to be making some vertical lines to help with my windows here. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to line it up with my building right along here. I'm going to scoot it in. And this is going to be the edge of my top bank of windows, edge of my middle bank of windows, and then this is going to be the edge of my bottom bank of windows. I'm going to move over, pull it on over until I can see all those window banks. When I say a bank of windows, I just mean a grouping of windows together. They would call that a bank of windows. All right, so now I can erase away any lines that are not part of the actual window there. And at this point, you could do something like draw people inside of those windows. You could make your window sills if you wanted to. I'm just kind of freehanding these because they're so close to these lines that I just drew with my little ruler right there. So this is how you can make windows and doors. So again, if it is on the left side of the building, you want it to connect to that left vanishing point. And if it's on the right side of the building, you want it to connect to the right vanishing point. So here's just a little handle. Then I'm going to make a window. Should be going over to connect to that vanishing point. So you'll see some things, some tiny little details you don't have to make completely using your ruler. Others you definitely want to use the ruler. All right, so I want to show you one more thing about making this street corner here, and that is making the road and the sidewalk. Okay, so if I'm making the sidewalk here, I'm going to do the same thing with the pivoting. So I'm going to hold it on to my dot, and I'm going to pull it down just a little bit. And I'm going to take this line. I am going to go farther than this middle point right here. Going to take a line over here. Try to make it about the same width as the last one, and I'm going to go across right here. Now, when you are doing your sidewalk, when you draw the lines of the sidewalk, first of all, you want the lines to get closer together as they get farther away. Just like buildings look like they're getting smaller as they get farther away, the sidewalk squares do as well. With a sidewalk, though, what you are going to do is you're going to connect the left sidewalk to the right vanishing point and the right sidewalk to the left. So here, I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to take this here, connecting it up, and I'm going to draw a line that goes across here. Now I'm going to pivot my book just a little bit and draw another line. So it's a slightly different angle than the last one, coming up toward the vanishing point. I just want to keep my book on that vanishing point as I pivot up higher and higher. So the angle is starting to get a little bit less steep. It's getting closer to horizontal every time, and I'm trying to get the lines closer and closer together as well. At this point, ooh, take a look at that. It looks like you could go walking down this sidewalk. At this point, I might even be able to start just kind of free-handing them as they go off into the distance. They become lighter. They're just a little bit harder to see way back in the distance. And of course, if you wanted to make more buildings back here, you know now how to make those buildings. So again, if I'm making the sidewalk on this side, I'm going to connect it to the left vanishing point. So I'm going to go here. Remember, you want to keep it connected to the vanishing point. Now, another thing you can do is you can make the road and stop signs and that sort of thing. So it's going to start getting smaller and closer together and more horizontal looking as they get up here. So if this is a street corner, I'm probably going to want to have a stop sign or something right along here. So I would do maybe a vertical line right here. And then I could make my traffic line or traffic signal, or maybe a traffic light you could put right in there as well. If I'm making a road, I'm going to do the same thing I did with my sidewalk. Make sure it's connecting to the vanishing point and try to get it, you know what I should do? I should give myself a little bit more space. It's like I'm coming at it from a road as well. So I want to get this kind of right like this. So here's your teacher making a mistake. Erasing it away. I can erase it because I drew super light. Okay, and then I am going to be taking this book right there. Again, not perfect. And if I'm making these roads and I want to have those lines on the road, I just want to make sure that I'm kind of following the converging line to the vanishing point. So here we go. I'm also going to be linking this week a bunch of other 2-point perspective videos. There are some super amazing detailed 2-point perspective videos. You can take this and make it as detailed and inspired as you want. I'm trying to keep things pretty simple here so that everybody can feel successful with the basic steps of creating a 2-point perspective work of art. But of course, I know there's going to be people who really want to add more to their drawing. So in addition to this video and showing you how to make 2-point perspective drawings on your iPad, I am going to be linking a few other artists' YouTube, and they can help you figure out exactly how you want your work to go. So thanks again for watching, and happy creating.